I got into meditation like around March 2022. So that's roughly a year ago. So let's keep it like that, right? And at the moment, I am nearing a 200 streak on Medito. So I'll show it up on the screen, which like with an average of, like 15 minutes every day. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm immediately going to get into what worked for me with meditation because it's a very niche thing. A lot of people fail to, stick to it because they don't really understand what it is, how it works, what the benefits are, because it's explained so wishy-washy. Like you get like this and that, and then you are like peace at mind and all of the bullshit. They explain it in this very weird, cringy way. Like, and for us, especially if you are like me, like, a typical nerd, gamer, whatever. If you used to be like that, then you're not going to understand meditation really. So the first thing that you need to do in order for this to work is to increase the time slowly over the months. So this is like with, how do I explain this? So you start off, you have the timer. So you should start off by ideally doing like 3 or 5 minutes. And you should do that for like a couple of weeks, if not months, before upgrading that to 10 minutes. Doing the same thing, keeping that up for like, a couple weeks, maybe a month, before going up to 15 minutes. And what you could do otherwise is just like implement 1 extra minute. So you could do like 3 minutes, and the next week you would do 4 minutes. The week next to that, you do like 5 minutes, and then you'd add another minute, another minute, another minute. Every couple of weeks, every month, for example, you add in the minutes slowly. Because, in meditation, it's very hard to, sit down and do something like this for 5 minutes and think, okay, now I'm very good, but you're not. And then you go do it for 30 minutes. And then you really you don't even know what you're doing, first of all. And then second of all, it doesn't really work for you because you won't see the benefits, and you're just sitting there like 30 minutes and you don't even know what you're doing, and it's not going to work. The second thing, which worked for me, which I encourage, is to just focus on the breath. You can do meditation in 5,000 different ways. Like literally, you have like a million different ways of how you could do this. But in my opinion, you should just stick to the breath. Focus on breathing in, breathing out. Make sure that the breathing out part, exhaling, is like twice as long as the inhale part. So you can do it with me. Make sure when you inhale, you can put your hand on your stomach. Breathe into your stomach. Breathe into your abdomen. And when you breathe out, you breathe the air out of your stomach. That's very important. So another thing which I really recommend doing, the third, what worked for me, is think of meditating throughout the day. And you could do that just so, for example, when I'm at the gym, I'm resting, I think of meditating, just doing 5 of these deep breaths, these repetitions. And when you think of that, that's also like a perceived benefit, which we will talk about. So think of meditating throughout the day. So for example, I usually do kickboxing on a Tuesday and Thursday. And after the exercise that we do 15 reps of, you get really gassed, right? So when I go to take a rest, I use meditation. So I breathe into my stomach, I breathe into it, and out like that. And that will, help you recover your breath as well. But it's also, it helps you with mindfulness because you think of meditating throughout the day. That's the entire purpose of meditating, recollecting your thoughts. So the benefits, which I will talk about immediately, is mindfulness throughout the day. Mindfulness is basically the thing that you get for meditating. So for, doing a dumbbell curl, you could do a dumbbell curl and then you'd get a bigger bicep. When you meditate, you get mindfulness. And what mindfulness basically is that throughout the day, you are conscious of your thoughts. Because a lot of people, they are not conscious. You cannot even name what you thought of throughout the day if you're 0% mindfulness. You don't even know what happened. So when you're mindful, this is the thing that, this is the only thing that I would recommend to do if you want to lose weight. None of the other bullshit, just mindfulness. It can help you to choose the good habit over the bad habit because you are conscious of your thoughts. Think of that for a second, right? So when I go open the pantry and mindfulness, it kicks in, I can literally tell myself, no, don't grab that cookie because it's not good for you. I could lay in bed and be tired, and like when you're mindful, you could think, yo, you know what? You should stand up and go to the gym and don't be such a fucking pussy, because you don't listen to the negative thoughts that your brain make, your lizard brain, which tells you, no, you should lay down because you're tired and you've worked and you went to school today, so you should be laying in bed. Yeah, don't go. Or you should eat this cookie, you deserved it, blah, blah, blah. With mindfulness, that shit doesn't exist. Your brain will literally, like, you see all the thoughts, you hear them, and then you can just throw away the ones. You can pick them up that you don't want. So, stay in bed, yeah, fuck off. Eat this cookie, yeah, fuck off. Oh, go to the gym, all right, you can stay. Basically that, right? Another thing, like one of the benefits is increased concentration. I am not really sure why, but like doing meditation, it requires you already to be concentrated. Like if you watch like the kung fu movies and stuff, you always see the masters, doing meditation because then they can concentrate or something. But for me, it specifically allowed me to do deep work sessions for 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is basically the maximum amount of time that the author of deep work recommends. So if you want to make a lot of progress in like a short time frame, so 1 hour and 30 minutes doing a lot of work is pretty crazy, then meditation is something that can help you to increase that concentration so you can stick on doing your deep work sessions. Then another benefit, I think I will do these two together, it's improved mood and improved mental health. You're basically happier when you meditate because, again, you pick out the thoughts that you don't necessarily want to have. So for example, you say to yourself, oh, you're such a fucking fat piece of shit. You just pick up that thing and you throw it away. That's what meditation does to you. And you can keep conscious choice of the thoughts that are beneficial to you. So you can think, okay, yo, you're doing great. So you're able to pick out the thoughts, which are very beneficial to you, and you can pick them out on your own, which will improve your mood. But at the same time, that will improve your mental health. Because when you can be nice to yourself, you can remove these anxious thoughts, these depressive thoughts, that's when your mental health will go up. Because mental health is basically anxiety or depression in our case. That could be a million different things, but it's usually a pain in the past or a worry in the future. And when you meditate, you live in the present moment, so you don't have to deal with all that bullshit. Now, I want you to do some things which did not work for me, because usually they recommend, so this app, Medito, I use it as well. But the problem with Medito is that the narrator, he says so many things. Like he tells you to do this and that and blah, 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 blah. You go way too in depth. And to be honest, that will just distract you from doing what you want to do. So I'd suggest you turn the volume down just so you can hear the timer when it goes off. And I would just focus on the breath, like I explained to you. Another thing that you could do is to focus on one particular spot. So maybe you have something on your forehead, you think of that, and then focus on the breath. But don't do everything that the narrator says. We should focus on this, and the pain is here, and blah, blah, blah. And he says like a million things. Don't do all of that. Another thing which you should not do, which I also try to do, is like, oh my God, I'm like, oh no, like a Shaolin monk. And then you go and meditate for like 30 to 60 minutes because you honestly cannot sustain that. The greats who do that, they practice their entire lives doing meditation. You're starting in a week and you're trying to do an hour of meditation, which is probably not gonna happen. You might do it for one day and then it's already half-assed. But you're not going to do that every single day for the rest of your life. So always think of this, doing it less, but doing it every day is way better than doing it sometimes and then for a long time. That's just my opinion. And another thing, so what you should do instead of that is just start with 3 or 5 minutes. If that's necessary for you, potentially what you could do is, I tried that as well and it's pretty, it's great. You can add that in 2 or 3 times a day. So you could do a 3-minute session and you could go on to do some different things. And then you'd come back later, you start another 3-minute session and you go away and then you start another 3-minute session. You could do it like that. So this was my video on meditation and what it did for me. I hope you could find value in this. If so, leave a subscribe and a like and tell me in the comments what you thought of this video. My name is Deenie. I want to help you improve your life one level at a time. Till the next one.